All right, here we are again. Hello, everybody. We have Sara Hildebrandt about to go on stage now. So, welcome. How are you, Sara?
Thank you. Very well. Thank you.
Thank you. We're starting a little bit late, so Sara, again, thank you for bearing with us. And let's keep this short. So, Sara, you are the managing director, CSO, and CMO at VIMATO, a Hamburg-based company, and you're also a mentor and a coach. High risk, high reward is the title of your talk today. And I think this is catchy enough to get people's attention. So I'm very curious myself. Shall we start? You have a presentation for us?
Yes, I will share my
So,
screen.
yeah, let's check that out and then I will leave you to do your thing.
Perfect. I hope you see it.
Yeah. Thank you. We can start now.
Perfect. So thank you so much for that introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking the time and being here at my talk. So just briefly a short introduction of myself. My name is Sara Hildebrandt and I'm CSO and CMO of VIMATO. We're a small startup based in Germany. And what we do is we deliver data-driven social media insights. Specifically, we analyze Instagram followers through a machine learning tool. Next to being one of the managing directors of VIMATO, I'm a coach and mentor, specialized in young professionals thriving for leadership roles. And I actually just started a Spanish jewelry brand, importing traditional jewelry from Ibiza. So, what I will be talking about today is how a career does not have to be as straight as I always thought. My own journey is a good example of very different steps bringing me exactly to where I want to be. I moved deliberately from the fascinating tech giant world to a chaotic but very charismatic startup world. Actually, I started in Barcelona. I studied there to become a translator, but did not finish that study. Instead, I quit and I moved to the Netherlands. There, I studied one of the four languages that I chose in Spain. I chose Japanese, so Japanese language and culture, and then I worked at marketing and sales, first for a Dutch flower wholesaler. Why? I really don't know. I never knew what to do. I was so impressed by those kids who already at school knew what they wanted to become, like a teacher or a doctor. Now, years later, some of them really went on to become what they dreamt of. But I just really didn't know. I didn't know as a kid, I didn't know at university or after. Sometimes I'm not sure I know now. I was good at maths and wanted to do something with that, but I just didn't know what. My parents wanted me to study arts, and as that was out of the question for me, they insisted that I was good at languages. I grew up with several languages, so that would be kind of easy for me. So why not something with that? When I was finally able to think of something I might want to become, a journalist in my case, languages didn't seem so bad. Somehow I moved away from Spain and ended up in the Netherlands studying Japanese, an incredibly difficult language to study. What did I learn there? A lot. But foremost, that I did not want to work for a Japanese company or go to live in Japan. So, without knowing how to continue, I was recruited for this flower company and I just tried it out. First, I was really unsure because I had no idea about flowers and I did not see my future in that sector. I was really scared this decision would influence the rest of my life, but I didn't see any other options. So, in the end, why not? From general marketing, I moved to online marketing, to project management, account management. So, I ended up in sales. But I felt like I was not done with studying, so I did an MBA. I wanted something giving me a better economical background than Japanese. I did the MBA working full time, challenging but a great decision. I came closer to tech firms. As students, we were shown the German headquarters of Google in Germany, and I left the tour saying to my peers, that is the place I want to work. Actually, I was the only one of the group with that reaction. And about a year later, I was so happy starting at Google as a contractor. You know what? There are people with very diverse backgrounds. There it wasn't so exceptional to be a Japanologist. There were so interesting and diverse people. Career it was actually a step back for me as I had to do sales through the phone. It was not my ideal job, but my ideal place to work. And I decided there must be a way to grow in this company. Soon I would be learning how to build Google Ads, helping our clients, upselling and cross selling Google products. Not that much later, I became vendor manager, building up a team from 3 to 7 people in different countries. I was managing sales, marketing, and data analyst teams, and I loved it. There are those aspects everybody knows of, like great food, sports, team events, working in a hammock. I really spent my life at work. I went there at 7 in the morning to start at the gym. I had breakfast with my team, and then we started working. Often during my lunch break, I would do a sports class with great external trainers. During working hours, there would be barista trainings. Even if I don't like coffee, it was a lot of fun. We did cooking lessons and so much more. And afterward, we went for drinks or had other cool team events. We volunteered, we had great trips, it was so much fun. After 4 years at Google, I went on to build sales teams for Twitter and PayPal remotely from home. It was also nice, but I definitely missed to be with the teams and all those perks. During a pandemic like now, that is normal, but a couple of years ago it wasn't yet. So all my friends moved between the different tech giants, from Google to Facebook to Twitter to Salesforce and so on. Everybody tells you about how much money they make, how great events their companies organize, and what perks they have. But something in me was just not sure about this anymore, not attracted to this ecosystem anymore. Some people compare it to a golden cage, where people have everything but often can really enjoy it. I had a great time and I don't regret it 1 second. I wouldn't want to miss this experience. Actually, if I could go back in time, I would start there immediately after university. It's a great place for young people, especially. Yes, the experience at a more traditional company was valuable as well, but I would have enjoyed that Google experience right away. I've learned so much there and I know it opened me so many doors. Maybe I'll go back to this eventually, but I just knew I needed something completely new. I thought about becoming self employed. I'd been a translator since I was a student, so that was an option. I'm also a certified coach, another option. But I also did not want to change from having those big teams and so many people around me to be completely on my own, so I decided to look for a small startup. I was too afraid to found a company at that point myself, and also I didn't have that one great idea. So I thought this would be a good step in between. So when I was approached by this young startup that was already almost 2 years old and one of the founders wanted to leave, it was the perfect fit. A market ready product, two smart founders taking me in like I was one of them, and a lot of flexibility. The downside? Much less money than the big companies offer, and no secure job. I knew the startup needed money. I mean, don't they always do? And being a managing director, you're responsible for everything that is done. Also, the moment was not ideal. I mean, COVID, two small children, a mortgage. But hey, no risk, no fun. So my life changed completely. No perks anymore. No yoga or high intensity trainers. No organized trips. On the other hand, no quarterly reviews and no targets. If I don't do it myself, it does not happen. But I learned that I don't need anybody looking over my shoulders, and I'm able to put myself under the necessary pressure. And also, I have all the flexibility that I want. I can go for a run at 10 in the morning if I don't have a meeting. If someone wants to go for coffee, I'm usually available because I'm not in that corporate hamster wheel. Or I can start a Spanish jewelry business, for example. Of course, I work in the weekends or evenings, but I don't mind because I really love my job. So, what is right for you? Well, when it comes to people and mindset, I notice there's a great difference between people. Some are happy with a regular job that they can go for years and years, retire at the same company they started. Nothing wrong with that. Those people will be happy at more traditional companies. At Google or other similar innovative companies, they work very driven, highly talented people. When I was recruiting for those jobs, the most important was not the education or the experience. It was if the people had that drive and that eagerness. That's actually the same when it comes to startup people. They're also very driven and motivated, and I love that spirit. But the pressure put on you from a corporate structure at big companies makes a lot of people unhappy. It doesn't matter how cool a company or function is, you always have to do things you like less, and that is no problem. The problem comes when you A, don't feel like you have a choice, B, when you feel your tasks are not leading anywhere. In many companies, you end up doing so many little tasks that seem unproductive that you're not about your actual job, like administration, holiday planning, meetings on completely different topics. That takes time and energy. And C, also having to fit into a mold is not letting you explore yourself properly. So there came a time when I was able to control so much and decide for myself and my teams. My span of control was quite big. Still, in the end, there would be so many people around the globe doing exactly the same job that I felt just like being a number. And at a small company, that's different. You immediately see your input converting into results. You can decide so much on your own and create your place to work in your role. This gives a lot of satisfaction, and self determination is vital. So, what is better? That really depends on you, on the circumstances, your preferences, your environment, your needs, your moment in life. I think for me, how it went was the best possible way. I really enjoyed big corporates, and I understand more traditional companies as well as modern tech giants. I learned so much, and now my startup is perfect for me. And who knows, it is the perfect in between step before I found something on my own. See about that. Maybe I go back to corporate life. It gives me the chance right now to be a mentor and coach of young professionals, something that gives me so much energy and is a great chance to share my experience. What I think needs to be emphasized is that young people already have the option to start something on their own or join a little startup as I did. It is a path that is not easy, it can be challenging and lonely, but it is an option at any stage of your career, and I wish I'd known that earlier. So many years I was afraid that I chose the wrong study, the wrong path, thought a specific route in my school trajectory would be defining how I would do as an adult. I thought that first job would define my career, but it didn't. I'm still able to change my way, and I'll still be in 20 years. So, what I want you to go with is knowing that you have so many opportunities. You just have to dare and grab them. Just do what looks better for you right now. So, that would be it from my side. Just shoot if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Sarah. So it's your opportunity now, all people in the audience, to ask your questions to Sarah. Thank you for your talk. I know we are almost reaching our end time, so 2 minutes. It was really nice to hear. Well, the first thing, that the career path doesn't have to be linear, and so your example, I can see a little bit of myself as well, and I assume many people in the audience do, and that you also ended up with this part that you can always change your path and your way, right, at any time. There's something here from the Q&A tab. Let's see. Sure, stage. So the topic of this talk is high risk. So like you were saying, if you don't risk it, you might miss some opportunities. So how would you answer this question?
Well, I think that if you take a high risk, you are also being able to be rewarded very high. So if you always just choose for the secure path, you might be very happy with that. And it depends on the people. Some people are better off with that. But if you always try to get to the next level, to find out something new, then you should take that risk and maybe go for a job you wouldn't think of on the first place. Maybe when you look at your CV, you don't think you are perfectly fit for this new role because it's a different field, a different sector. Still, if you are interested in this and you think that you would be a good fit, you should try it out. But because maybe some people are very good at trying out something new and bringing a new perspective into that. So I think when you choose something that is completely out of your comfort zone or different than everybody else thinks of, it still can be very rewarding in the end.
Mm-hmm. And in the end, what's the risk? And this is the thing as well, that you fail. And what's the problem with that, right? You fail, but you learn something from it. So
definitely, and I think that's something we can learn in Europe. We can learn a lot
yeah.
from the US, where failing isn't failing. You
Yeah.
fall down and you stand up again, and you fall
Right.
and you stand up. And here, very often, then you failed and your career's a disaster and you made a mistake. I don't think that's right. I think we learn
Mhm.
from it, and we need to use that, accept it, and build on that.
Right.
You say, what's the worst thing that can happen? Maybe you lost some time, but you learned so much, and your future employer should appreciate that and appreciate your way and the experiences you have through that.
Really good. Yeah. Thank you again. I would say this is a wrap up for our talk today. Thanks again for everybody for participating. And thank you to Saha as well. And stick around, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the event. Bye-bye for now. Stay safe. Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you.
Ciao.